Perimenopause is not just a hormonal shift, it's a rite of passage for us ladies. Hello, and welcome to the Philosophy Podcast, where we get to explore the art of intuitive healing and holistic leadership. I'm your host, Fiona Finley, the professional chatterbox, business mentor, nervous system nerve nerd, and forever student of what it means to find true freedom in life. This podcast isn't here to give you all the answers. It's here to remind you that you already have them. Philosophy is my flavour of wisdom, and I'm here to share my story just so that you know that you're not doing this alone. My hope is that by sharing my experiences, you'll find something in common, something that lands, and something that actually helps you deeply connect with your own truth. With everything that I offer, I invite you to take what you need and leave what you don't, and let whatever resonate land in your body of wisdom. This space is for exploration, transformation, and discovering what true freedom really feels like and looks like for you. So let's dive in. Today, we're diving into something that is deeply personal and widely misunderstood across continents, across the world. How hormones, specifically during perimenopause, can actually disrupt your inner compass and your ability to feel safe, intuitive, strong, grounded, all the things. So if you've ever felt emotionally all over the place, you're energetically inconsistent, you have brain fog, brain fog, you've got memory loss, you react very quickly to things that you really, in the past it never bothered you before, but all of a sudden the way people chew and breathe are now irritating you. This one is for you. So I always thought perimenopause was something that my mum went through and that it's like on the horizon, but I'm not there yet. Good news, people, is it can hit in your 30s and we can be in this lovely transition of life for a good 10 to 15 years. Now, I say that with a bit of tongue in cheek because it is a lovely transition. It's just how you approach it and what mindset you put towards it. In my late 30s, I couldn't understand why I didn't have memory recall. I blamed being a mother. I blamed, not enough sleep and all the things. It could have been a part of that. However, what I come to realize was that perimenopause was starting to settle in. And the thing is, I don't get upset that easily because I don't really take life too personally. This is something that I've come to understand, in my 30s. This one day, I remember I couldn't stand anybody talking. Their breathing was upsetting me. My dog was upsetting me, which is a huge call because he and I are pretty close. I just felt so overwhelmed and so disconnected. And I felt guilty from this. I just laid down on the kitchen floor and cried because there was nothing that could make me feel better. Not a coffee, not some alcohol, not Netflix binge, not a cuddle. Nothing was making me feel better. And the other thing was I noticed that it felt like a bit of an out-of-body experience. I was there, but not really there. My brain fog was that thick that it felt like I was standing over the top of me looking at this. Now, if I had have been in front of any psychologist, psychiatrist, they would have pulled out that DSM and went, yep, here it is, psychosis or manic depressant or whatever the term, whatever boxes I was ticking a lot that morning. And I just didn't understand what it was. I was eating well, I was sleeping well, but I was waking up totally exhausted. Before my feet hit the floor, I'd had enough of the day. I just wanted to go back to bed. And I wouldn't say it's depression because I wasn't sad. I was just so physically tired. For me to do the washing was a big deal. And so to cook and care for people at the time, I just felt also overwhelming. And that's why my kitchen floor seemed like a really good place to take some respite. But the thing was, during this time, it was really humbling because I'm the one that usually has it all sorted. You come to me for advice or help or support or whatever the thing is. I'm the one that had it all together. If not, I could be resourceful and do the thing or find out. I had nothing in the tank. I couldn't even project manage how to get food in my fridge. It felt like I had a brain injury. And I just didn't understand how that could be until my therapist said to me, have you looked at your hormones? Have you considered perimenopause? And have you thought about giving yourself a break? Because that is not where we go. We don't say, I'm just going to give myself a break and be compassionate when you don't feel like yourself and you can't call on the resources that you normally call on. Because I'm intellectual, I can always use my brain to figure stuff out. And during this time, the brain's offline. Now what do I do? How do I connect? How do I get shit done in my day? It was a real blow to what I'd come to understood about the world and how I functioned in it as well. So here's the thing. Perimenopause is not just a hormonal shift. Yes, it gives you all those symptoms, but what it is, it's a rite of passage for us ladies. Society doesn't honor it in that way. They still want us to be that linear, you turn up at your job 9 to 5 and you keep going and you're productive. All this starts to change when you hit the perimenopause because this is your time to go inwards. This is your time to really solidify who you are, what you're here to do, and embrace it with such vigor and passion. And all those things, like I read a book with Gabor Mate, and he said 80% of all autoimmune diseases are with women. 80%. And I do think this has something to do with it. If you're feeling silenced through this rite of passage, or you still need to perform and do the daily tasks, this is going to have such detrimental effects, not just mentally, but physically and spiritually as well. So what I had to do is I had to look at it and go, okay, I'm going through change. Isn't it funny how I identify myself with using my brain and doing all the things and having it all together? This is a time of undoing that, uneducating myself, unparenting or reparenting. So everything that I'd come to feel secure about and rest on and really relied on, I couldn't anymore. The most beautiful part of it is that she's always been inside. She's been wrapped up in the identification of these external roles and responsibilities for such a long time. This time in our life where we can push that aside, like literally. Our brains, our hormonal profiles are not going to allow you to do it. And if you do, it'll come at a cost. It'll come at a cost of your peace and sanity. It'll come at a cost with the time with your family and all the things that actually really, truly matter. So this is the phase where you get to do some really, really deep rewiring. This is a time of healing those ancestral trauma lines. It's a time when you get to heal the relationship to yourself, but you're also healing future generations because it's asking us to release all of our old identities, our outdated coping mechanisms because they aren't working now, and to reconnect to a more authentic version of ourselves. Because when we are more authentic, we are giving permission slips to other people to be authentic. And what a beautiful gift to give to our children and our children's children and our neighbors and our community to be their authentic, beautiful self, because the authenticity of every individual is exactly what the world needs. It is the medicine that's going to heal our world. So, with that in mind, how do you do it? How do we come up with ways through the brain fog and all the things that we rely on to be a functional adult? How do we come up with other ways? Okay, so it does get personal. And again, it's just an invitation for you to take what you need and leave what you don't. I like to name the season. And I don't really call it perimenopause because I feel like it's not an honoring practice. I just say it's like my sage time. I'm starting to sage because I do feel that I'm getting older and wiser. I track what changes are coming with an app. I used to use it for fertility, then I used it for period tracking, and now I use it for mood, energy, cycle patterns. I use this in my business. I schedule a lot of things in my creative, energetic week. And the week that I can't even get my head off the pillow, I limit that and I honor that, because otherwise it just ends badly for everybody. And it's not being authentic, right? So I let go of the productivity treadmill. I let go of it. I don't see it as a measure of worth anymore. And this is something that's actually taken such a long time for me to overcome. And I used to wear it as a badge of honor. And now my badge of honor is having a bath at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and being okay with that and actually enjoying it and celebrating it. I also ask myself in a way that's like asking my best friend, what is it I need right now? And sometimes that could just be to sit. Sometimes that's just a glass of water. I don't need that third coffee for a lot of reasons, but it's not about grabbing what I habitually want. What is it I need right now? Sometimes it's just silence. So my friends actually know there's not worth asking me to go somewhere socially in a few weeks, because what I feel today, I could feel very differently in 3 weeks, 2 weeks' time. So they know not to give me that much time, which is awesome. And I really love them for that because they respect it. And so at the time, if they're free and at the stars align, we catch up. And this isn't a time for putting other people first. This is a time for nourishing yourself so that you can hold space for others. And then this is also because you're going so inwards, it's all about a spiritual rebirth. How you connect to spirit, how you connect to your spirituality, whatever that looks like. You could find another facet or another element that you want to draw in. I was never raised in a religious household. It was very much fluid with spirituality. And now I go to church. And to be honest, it's hearing the Bible stories. I can see a lot of interconnectedness with my other spiritual practices, but the family that goes there, and I love them and I just love spending time with them. And that is such a beautiful way for me to spend my Sunday sometimes, is just connecting with them in a wholesome, spiritually fed way. I still wouldn't call myself a Christian, I just call myself spiritual. Let's just take a moment to chill. Parenting is tricky, running a business is activating, and consciously choosing to grow, let's just say it can be rough and tough and messy. If you're doing any of these things, or if you're doing all of them at once, your plate is full, your brain is overloaded, your tabs are open, and bandwidth feels like a distant memory of the past. I just want you to know that it's totally healthy to feel like this, and that there's another way. A way to feel more calm, confident, and connected. Yep, and let's just throw in a little contentment too. And it all starts with your nervous system. Let's get you out of the overwhelm and into a space where life actually feels chill. This is why I created the Chill Out program, a self-paced course where you get to learn all about your nervous system, how it works, how to map your patterns, and how to regulate using real-life tools and suggestions that fit you and your world. We explore polyvagal theory, nervous system mapping, and build your personal toolkit, just so that you can come back to center again and again. Because this is how you find your calm amongst the chaos. Not by doing more, not by adding to it, but by feeling safe enough just to be. The link's in the show notes, go check it out. Your nervous system will thank you. And now let's get back to it. And then the other thing that I really found to be so useful is structure. So you ask all my clients and anyone that's worked with me, I give structure very well. Me, on the other hand, I like to be spontaneous. However, during those weeks of absolute lack of energy, focus, and I just feel like I'm out of body, I need structure. So I meal plan the week before. I make sure there's good, nutritious food in the fridge for my son and I. I make sure the dog food's stock levels are up. And I try not to have anything with too big of a decision around that time. So having structure and things in place to help and honor those fluctuations in energy has just been an absolute lifesaver. Now, this is going to look different for everybody. Every family dynamics is different. Everyone's life is different. It just depends, right? This is not forever. It's a season. And just like winter and summer change, so too does this. And some days you're going to feel so rough around the edges and like you're just a holy jacket with no substance left in it or anything. It's probably a bad analogy, but if you just feel rotten, just know that this is a nice time to reconnect with yourself. Watch it from a place of observer without the judgment, because this isn't going to be forever, I promise you. And out on the other end of this is going to be another season. It's going to be post-menopause. It's going to be, they call it the crone era. It's beautiful. And with that comes responsibility. Our responsibility is to ourselves. So if you're feeling the intensity of this transition, totally get it. And if you want a hand with it, drop me a DM. I also offer nervous system stuff. And nervous system is it's sort of like the roadmap that you need to understand where your body's at, and even give you tools on how to regulate your nervous system. And the other thing is, if you've got people that you're living close with, it helps them too, because when they have a regulated nervous system, you don't have to regulate for them. So it's a co-regulation regulator, if that's a thing. Anyway, on that note, because my brain is starting to fizzle, I will speak to you next time. And I just hope that this brings you some peace, some insight to where you can go with this. There's so much out there. I get it. Try not to bombard yourself with it. And just know we're all going through it. It's all a transition and it's just a season. So stay calm, cool, and connected. And I'll talk to you next time.